Alex Moseman. I'm the executive director of talent acquisition here in Knox County Schools, so Knoxville, Tennessee. I've been here for a little over a year and a half now and have been kind of in the K-12 game, so to speak, for like 12 years now, just in sort of different capacities, either as a teacher, a recruiter, district official, all the above, and spent a little bit of time in higher ed as well. Knox County Schools is the third largest district in Tennessee. We have about 60,000 students, 94 schools, a little over 10,000 employees, about 4,500 teachers. So in Indianapolis, it was because I was like literally a team of one. I didn't have the minutes in my day to be able to interview. And so it was a way to kind of extend my own capacity. And then I think the other thing was just about hiring manager engagement. I think on the K-12 side, one of the things that's always tricky is like finding that right balance between our principals will always ask for a pre-screened pool. And then how do we make sure that like principals are also engaged in the pre-screened pool of the candidates that are pre-screened, so that it's not just like we did all this work to build a pool and then like how you make sure those folks get connected to the right folks. It's a good resource in how we get hiring managers engaged in available candidates with a lower lift. And like I mentioned earlier, like trying to get as close as possible to all the information that a principal would need, like what are the primary things they got to know to be able to make whatever the right next decision is. I would say not necessarily yes or no, you're going to hire this person for everything we share to you, but whatever your decision-making process is, in the next step of whether it's a phone call or bring them in, you know enough within 3 or 4 minutes of everything we've sent you that you can make that decision pretty quickly, rather than needing to spend 30 minutes, 40 minutes, whatever, and like the logistical time of like scheduling calls and back and forth and all of that. We've really viewed it just as a way to increase our team's capacity and also increase engagement at the same time. The strongest leaders are very busy people. And so if we can develop a process that is asynchronous, that does not require them to take time out of their school day, we can actually increase the available people who are willing to at least have a conversation with KCS. So I think the emails all automate right now, but I can see them like on the weekends where I can see when leaders are doing those interviews, and most often it's outside of normal school hours. And the flexibility to allow folks to do that kind of outside of the normal day, I think really increases our ability to find strong leaders who, like I said, they're spending every ounce of their energy focused on kids every day. I would prefer that they show up and be their best self at 6 or 7 or whatever on a weeknight, or if they want to do it Saturday morning or whatever the case is, great. Like whenever you think is the right time to do that, the better. And then it allows us a greater deal of flexibility in that selection process for leaders as well, to make sure that we can really quickly and clearly communicate like what a candidate's strengths and growth areas might be across a huge number of people, given the number of folks who sometimes get involved in hiring for leaders. So it just makes the process so much more engaging and transparent, especially when those hires can be some of the highest stakes hires that you make. Extend yourself and create an opportunity for folks to, on their own time, in a more engaging platform, provide that information for you to be able to not just share with yourself, but share with your whole team. Where like maybe it's not you that's reviewing them, it's somebody else that's like actually a key decision maker. And now I don't have to go and transcribe that interview or write notes about it. I can just send that person who's the key decision maker a link to the interview, and they watch it and give their feedback. We all have other projects that we need to be spending time on. And again, the tighter we can get the hiring process, the more capacity that we're going to have to focus on higher impact things. They love it. It's a huge tool for us. I think partially because, especially for principals, their time during the day when students are in the building is so valuable. So one, it just creates the ability for them to watch those videos after students are gone, but also on the leader side for like our principal supervisors, our assistant soups, the ability to be able to go back to an interview and rewatch it and sort of align and share. We've used it a lot also to calibrate on candidate quality so that we're all talking about what we think is a strong response through the same lens. And it's not based off of any one person's perspective of what they heard, but we can all sit in the same room and see the same response and then calibrate off of that, which is a very helpful exercise, especially as we think about calibrating across the organization for all number of things. Regardless of the size of a district, focusing on just the accessibility of your hiring process and the engagement of your hiring process is a competitive advantage that you have full control over. Like in a small district, you're going to have a different set of challenges, but just reach and access and accessibility is one thing that, given everybody's level of comfort with virtual calls or the internet or using your mobile device to do whatever, it's sort of a free thing that you're leaving on the table if it's not something that you're approaching, because you don't have to be big to cast a wide net and to think broadly about your goals for the organization. I think no matter the size of the district, you have the ability to really focus on that employer brand. And I think when you're doing that through some type of like one-way interview, you also have the ability of being able to make it really accessible for folks, because if folks are not a strong fit for your organization, that's okay. And you have a quick and efficient way to screen people in or out of your process based off the quality of those candidates.